Weekly scale is starting to confirm not the best looking bar as we are starting to confirm down on the MACD, suggesting that that weekly pullback is coming. So if the bulls want this to not go through some kind of weekly correction, well, then they're going to have to step into gear. And there's only a few things really holding the bulls with some kind of confidence to be able to go to the upside, to be able to take back control. Because as of right now, we are just getting the continued rolling and rolling and rolling, which is exactly what you want to see if you're a bear. And if you're a bull, then you need to see the one kind of reversal signals that I've been seeing. You need those to play out very, very soon, maybe on a high volatility day, like a day with FOMC minutes, like a day with NVIDIA earnings. So let's get into it. So we went directly down to that weekly expected move. Now, this was mentioned over the weekend, actually, right? We always briefly talk about these weekly expected moves. And one of the things that we were discussing very early on, right? We mentioned this every once in a while, is just if you get outside of that weekly move early on in the week, it is very likely that you are at least going to see a bounce before the next move down. So we will be paying attention to bounces around this level. Now, as it stands, the bears are in serious control. I will have to go show you what's going on with the SPY. I will have to show you on the SPX 500 what signals are doing, because the bulls still have a chance with the weakness and momentum, but we've really given a lot of it up for the MACD. We can see that for the 2-hour chart. So your daily expected moves, you're going to have big ones, 668.67 to the upside. You have 651.49 to the downside, taking you outside of the monthly expected move. Now, what were we paying attention to today? If the bulls could take back control with that 85% chance for an up day, according to Volatility. Now, Volatility is still suggesting that tomorrow's trading session, we will have that 85% chance for an up day. But the problem with today, at least from the SPY's perspective, we're going to switch over to the SPX 500 right after this, a little bit of the futures, just to show what's going on over there. Well, you got rid of the divergences on the MACD. Now, that being said, 660 was a very critical level if you're watching any kind of options flow. But at the same time, you have held the divergence for the 30-minute chart for the divergence on the RSI. Okay, so you do have a form of divergence down by this weekly expected move. Now, the course that's down in the description, the full technical analysis course, we actually go through a trading strategy for high volatility. It's a very easy strategy. You can be very risk managed with it, but it kind of looks like this. Now, the 2-hour chart isn't suggesting, oh, this can be an easy move, but it is suggesting that it is holding the weakness and momentum as of right now for the 2-hour chart. So for the bears, you want to keep seeing what you're seeing. You want to see more rolls, more little 30-minute rolls, keep rolling down, break those critical level, get people bearish, get some kind of upward move to retest, 670 or something, and then you get the big drop. That would be what the bears are probably looking for. So it means in this area, we're still paying attention to a bounce. So why not right now? See if that goes wrong. See if the 2-hour can go to the upside here, because to be honest, if the 30-minute is able to take back these levels of 675, 676, then the bulls can be back in gear here. And the reason that you'll hear me talking about that is because when you go look at futures, you really look at these signals from the 2-hour perspective, and you just go, okay, we're still holding them on the MACD and RSI. All the same signals that we were talking about over the weekend, that we were talking about forming, you're still holding them as of right now, going down to the weekly expected move. And you have seen a level of support there. So as a person who understands that the trend is rolling down, we are below that 5-day, and this could reverse around right now. It would mean, well, even at these low levels, I don't want to start some kind of short position here. I'd want some kind of move to the upside that fails, and then I can ride that momentum down to that monthly expected move. So even in this area, I still will be looking for a bounce if the market proves to give me that opportunity. Now, that being said, you have to take this opportunity as a patient one, and one that actually could reverse around, because you still have 2-hour divergence on your MACD. You still have the 2-hour divergence on your RSI for the SPX 500, and you are showing it on the SPY with your RSIs. I want to point that out. If you go to the 4-hour chart, you're seeing it very simply here on the RSI. this will need a massive move because as of right now, the positioning of the MACD does suggest another roll is going to come. So we will need to see a big sporadic upward move, which actually right now I still am having a very hard time saying, yes, taking a short position here is a good thing. I really don't think it is down by the weekly expected move. Very rarely do you see a move that goes quickly to the weekly expected move and you don't see a bounce before the next position would be a better one. And at the same time, we're still in that period. We're in extreme fear right now. I'm actually going to very, very quickly look that up because as of right now, we should be deeper into extreme fear. And we still have yet to get, yeah, we are at a reading of 11 right now for that fear and greed. So this is kind of a big deal. You're not seeing a massive, massive crash. You're seeing a 5% little sideways pullback. Overall, this is overall sideways right now. So I'm still paying attention to those reversal signals. I'm still going to pay attention to these things very thoroughly and just say, hey, if the 2-hour chart for futures curls up, I don't want to be in that position yet. I want to make sure to see that roll before I take any kind of downside play. So this will make a lot of sense as well as we get back to volatility and as we tie it all together at the end of the video. So make sure to stick around because the VIX is suggesting that we've added a couple of days for those 85% chance up days in the next couple of trading sessions. So let's go over to the Qs, get you guys some daily ranges, and then we'll talk about volatility. And this is why I want to hold our horses, because look at this. We're not at the weekly move, but we're at the monthly one, and we still have 2 weeks left in the month, guys. So this is how you see crashes, right? Crashes would be, unexpected. So they would cut through these lines. But a lot of the time, liquidity issues, market makers, big players in the market, they want to convince people to get bearish, then see a pop, then roll it as people think it's reversing back around. So still in this area, I don't believe, and I'm mostly speaking for myself, right? Overall, speaking in context of my own trading, I don't look at short positions at the bottom side monthly expected move pretty much ever, just so you are aware, especially when I'm seeing the things that I'm seeing. And I'm sorry if the screen keeps like cutting out. It's been very wonky today, probably with that Cloudflare stuff. But for now, this is why you don't mess around with these things right now. I know these things are just formed and they easily could fail, but you do technically have a flat divergence on your MACD. You do have an upward divergence here on your RSI. This is suggesting that if we were to see a buy come in, maybe we'll go into the 30-minute and look for those hints. Because if we're seeing some things from the 30-minute go right here for the Qs, that would mean it's still holding on to those divergences, the potential for the daily scale to turn up. And I still have faith that the Qs are going to help us just like they did over here. I think the Qs are telling us, and based on the charts, overall, I think they are until we see the next roll. I think that the Qs are telling us by wiping out this divergence and making a flat here that it has at least one more push to the upside before it is going to decide whether it wants to really crash or not. I think we got to get out of this extreme fear and we got to start getting into some greed in order to actually see a big trap at the end of the year. That being said, we want that 2-hour to curl up. Well, the 30-minute is still doing what? It is holding the divergence just like the SPY on the RSI, but it's kind of lost it on the 30-minute for the MACD. Now, what could this mean? This could mean, one, if you roll here, curls down, right, it's very likely we go to the daily expected move. So to the upside, 607.31. We see 585.31 to the downside outside of your weekly move. If we see some kind of upside move that fails, you would expect us to go down to that weekly move, and maybe we need to remake that divergence point so it's on the MACD and RSI at the same time. I would be paying attention to that, but you do have a slight weakness in momentum signal that did confirm today. And we do have that 85% chance for an update tomorrow for the SPY. So this will be very interesting. We are in a time where you are at an 11, absolute extreme fear, meaning people can be very quick to hit that sell button if things are really bad, right? If we keep getting this jobs data that's blatantly bad, well, it just depends a lot on the narrative of tomorrow as well, right? I mean, this is more of a contextual, like talking about markets, market psychology. There are times where the Fed can come out and say that all the bad news that you are getting is good because it means we can do this with rates, we can do that with rates, we can move this money here, we can stop QT, we can start QE. So it will be important to pay attention to any kind of narrative change tomorrow where the potential for bad news actually becoming good news, right? Job losses maybe becoming a good thing somehow out of the mouths of the Fed would be something to pay attention to. But we are seeing a move to the monthly expected move 2 weeks in. We are seeing forms of divergence down there, and this is something that we blatantly go over in the full technical analysis course. So this is something I very much so pay attention to. So I am not going to be taking any short position here. If anything, I might even add to the long side as of right now. That being said, VIX is popping off, right? We see that VIX is just popping off, absolutely screaming to the upside, not able to hold those reversal signals for the 2-hour, just that simple little divergence there. The 30-minute really wiping things out, right? Really wiping things out. Maybe we need to see that in near price action and things like that. VIX overall is just suggesting by being up even today by 10% that we should see an update in the next 2 trading sessions again. So you kind of have 2 85% probabilities piled on each other for tomorrow. So it's going to be very critical. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water. So it's going to be very critical to watch this very carefully. Now, as of right now, the 30-minute looks like it's in a pot. Like it looks like it wants to maybe curl up again, right? This is looking bad. This looks like what? If the 2-hour pulled back, it would just go off to the races again later, right? This doesn't look like this trend is over by any means. So if we are going to really see the bulls step in, if we are going to see Tom Lee be right about a 700 call by the end of this month, and 750 or whatever by the end of the year. If we're going to see those things, we have to see the bulls get serious, and we have to see them get serious fast. And they might need to use a day like the FOMC. They might need to use a day that has NVIDIA earnings to actually pump this market if they want to save things as of right now. Because right now, it's not looking good. You have a daily scale that's just turned straight up into positive territory for volatility. If it makes this a lower high soon, that would be a big deal. We would potentially have an uptrend for a bit. But as of right now, I think the more important thing to watch, I think the best thing to really pay attention to for tomorrow is just the fact that we're at the weekly and the monthly expected move, right? The fact that we are down to these levels means, yes, you can see something pretty bad to the downside, but after seeing bad after bad after bad, you want to watch for any kind of reversal around here because it's very likely to get at least some kind of counter trend move before you see the next big leg down. Because if we break this level, we still technically would have to create that right shoulder. So I think that's the best thing that can be on your mind for the next few trading sessions, just making sure to understand we are rolling and rolling and rolling. That's not a good thing. But when you see divergence, you might want to be hesitant as far as taking big downside positions. And I'm going to be hesitant down by my weekly and my monthly expected move. And if you have been here for a long time with this channel, then you might think the same way after using these moves for long enough. So I hope that today's video was overall helpful. Maybe just getting some helpful levels is good for you. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And I will try to pop on to Patreon tomorrow and give you guys a solid update video, maybe after we see maybe towards the end of the day during Power Hour. Okay, so make sure if you want that, you join Patreon. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. Peace out.